What is going on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, along with Qaamans and Dragon Ball Nation. What up, fellas?
It's going good.
Alrighty, guys, it is Qaamans here today.
You can't have a Qaamans video without the intro. But today we're gonna be discussing something very interesting. So we know that the way small spoiler in case you don't want anything spoiled for Fukkatsu No F, we would suggest that you kind of skip this one, even though we already kind of discussed in the title of the video what we're gonna be talking about, which is Friezas Training. The way Frieza obtains this new power, the new transformation that we saw a couple days ago, is by training for 4 months. So he comes back to life and he trains for 4 months straight, and apparently that's enough time to achieve his brand new power. But not a lot of people are thinking, like, how the hell does Frieza gain that much power to go from where he got destroyed, where Goku was nowhere near the strength that he is at the end of Dragon Ball Z, especially after becoming a god? What does he do to achieve this training? Well, it's confirmed in the actual manga. There's a 3-chapter manga that's leading up to the movie. It's confirmed that he never trained in his entire life, meaning Frieza was born with the strength that he is. Meaning the second he was born, where Goku had a power level of like 1, Frieza was born with a power level of 530,000, and on top of that, it was even more bigger based on transformation that was at. So the reason why he was so powerful wasn't because he trained or something. He was actually born as a genius, which is why he is, feared later. So by training and taking 4 months out of his time, he managed to achieve this brand new power that's incredibly, that's so incredible that it can keep up with Super Saiyan God Goku, which it has to be, because I mean that's how strong Goku is. And on top of that, everybody else in the series up to that point. So what do you guys think about Frieza's brand new strength? Like, Qaamans, why don't you jump in first?
Well, I mean, when I read that manga chapter, it really blew me away, because I would think that, maybe Frieza doesn't train as much as other guys, but I would say, I mean, there's no way you could just get that powerful. And then it makes you think, guys like Vegeta, Gohan, who all have to train to become a Super Saiyan to basically, get stronger than Frieza and other villains. It's like, wow, these guys not only, I mean, you look at Gohan, for example, he has natural, energy too, but he still had to train really hard to get somewhere. And then you look at Frieza, it's like, wow. I mean, it makes you think, how strong would Frieza be if he trained like a Goku or like a Vegeta or those other guys? So I thought it was a really, really interesting thing to hear. It's like, wow, Frieza's potential was really off the charts.
So here's a question I have for you, Qaamans. Who's stronger, King Cold or Frieza?
I've been having that debate for a very, very long time.
I know, that's exactly why I brought it up.
And it's not clearly stated, but I am going to lean towards King Cold based off of what happened in the manga. The manga hints that their power was around the same, and because of that, I think that King Cold would get the slight edge, because based off of physiology, it looks like King Cold is in his second form. Now, I know it's not confirmed, but you would think that Frieza has a similar physiology to him, so because of that, I would have to say King Cold.
Right. So do you think King Cold was born with that power, or do you think he trained? Because remember, in the manga, it's also stated that King Cold tells Frieza to never face 2 opponents, Beerus and Majin Buu. So if King Cold knew that these creatures existed, why didn't he himself ever train to be stronger than them, so he could be the strongest in the universe along with his son? Basically, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the King Cold essentially trained to get where he is, and then when Frieza was born, was he just born with that power? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I want to know. What's your thought on that?
Well, I mean, you got to think that despite how much natural power that Frieza and King Cold have, I mean, there would be some villains that no matter how strong you are naturally, they're just in a different cosmos of power. So I can still understand that. But I mean, if Frieza can catch up to Goku in 4 months, that would probably mean that Frieza's inner potential is way above what King Cold would ever be, considering the fact that King Cold is much older. So I think that it really is more about Frieza than it is about King Cold as a whole. So
the reason why I'm bringing this up in the first place at all is because I have a theory. So when Goten and Trunks were born, they were already incredibly powerful, and they were able to go Super Saiyan. My theory is that King Cold reached his peak as a warrior, and that was as strong as he got, which might be comparable to Frieza in the early Android Saga. So they're probably around the same strength. And I think around the time, that's when Frieza was born. So when Frieza was born, he inherited part of King Cold's power, which is why he was so strong from the beginning, and he just never trained just because he figured, what's the point? I'm the 3rd strongest being in the universe. I can just adjust with the power that I have right now. So my theory is that Frieza got his power essentially from King Cold, and now that he realized, you know, there's even more powerful people and he wants to get revenge, he's going to train and just dig really deep into his abilities and bring out his inner potential, which we see as a new transformation where he takes on Goku and looks like he beats him in the first fight. Dragon Ball Nation, what do you think about all the stuff that we just said?
You guys definitely said a lot right there. Frieza not ever training is something I've always thought. I've definitely always thought he never has trained before. I think I've mentioned it in a few videos, but aside from that, what you brought up about King Cold basically lending him his power, considering he was his offspring, and Frieza was, you know, basically spawned off of King Cold himself, is something I've never thought about. That's a very, very good point and a high possibility. The thing that I find funny, I mean, you guys knocked it out of the park with what your discussions were, but what I find funny is that, you know, Beerus and Frieza knew each other. Why would Frieza never have, you know, ever have trained to become stronger than Beerus? He knew Beerus was stronger than him. He must have. And it seems weird that he would never want to just be above him. Isn't that a little strange to you guys?
Yeah, it's actually a good point you brought that up because I wanted to talk about that as well in this video. My theory behind that entire encounter is because the power gap was so great that Frieza's probably like, yeah, whatever. Because remember, Frieza is lazy. We see him always flying around as a little space pod rather than flying himself in the Namek Saga. And I think the only motivation that he had this time was motivation. He had motivation to get revenge against the Saiyans because he didn't just get beaten by one Saiyan. He got beaten by two Saiyans, and he hates Saiyans with a freaking passion. Now, he hates Beerus as well, but probably didn't have enough hate to be motivated enough to try to, like, you know, dig deep into his power and bring it out to fight Beerus. Plus, on top of that, remember, King Cole was there to be like, hey, don't fight Majin Buu, don't fight Beerus. So that's my theory there as to why he never fought against Beerus to try to get stronger than him. But however, I still have a theory that another reason why he wanted to get immortality was so he can go up against Beerus. Because think about it this way: if Beerus found out that, I mean, first of all, Beerus didn't like Frieza, but if Beerus found out that Frieza was trained to fight him, he would have showed up and killed him instantly. Kwame, what do you think about that one?
Well, that's a very good point, but at the same time, I wanted to say that, you know, we do see that, you know, Frieza said, I'm going to train for 4 months, but maybe he doesn't only train. My theory is that he trains in addition to getting some type of a power boost from maybe some of his henchmen, or maybe they do something to genetically empower Frieza as a whole. I mean, it's kind of implied from the pictures that we did in that review that maybe that Sorbet had that power ring, and maybe that to some degree affects everything. So that's what I think could potentially happen. I think that it's a combination of training and, you know, a combination of possibly getting a genetic improvement, which I think ultimately would give Frieza the edge, because I still could say that despite Frieza being naturally that powerful, I can't see him getting that close to Goku and Beerus, because who's to say Beerus is still not much stronger than what Frieza would be in the movie, you know?
Right. I mean, we don't know. I mean, for all we know, Beerus and Frieza might not fight at all. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
But something that I wanted to point out was, look at Goku. What was Goku's power level in Dragon Ball the very first time? Was it like 180 or something like that?
Well, I don't believe in power levels from Dragon Ball. I think they're all bullshit, to be completely
Well, power levels are in general bullshit, but like just using Goku as an example, like the farmer in Dragon Ball Z was 5, and then Goku was probably somewhere around 100. I don't remember exactly, but to show you that, like, you know, Goku's power level, he was born with 1, right?
Yeah, a power level of a 2.
So he was born with power level 2. So he was born with power level 2, and by the time he was like a kid, he had about 100 something. Frieza was born with 530,000, and then even when I throw Broly in there, Broly was born with 10,000, and Broly was freaking incredibly powerful. But the only reason why I'm throwing power levels in the first place is to just kind of have that gauge to look at what people were born with. Like, if Broly was supposed to be the most incredibly powerful warrior that was born with the power level of 10,000, look at Frieza, whose power level was born with 530,000, and now when he actually like really dips into the power and like tries to actually train, I can see him like, I can see why his power boost makes sense, why it's stronger to be able to keep up with the Saiyans.
That's a really good point. I mean, maybe Frieza wasn't exactly born with 530,000. Maybe he was born with less, and like as he aged,
he naturally
got stronger. But I mean, still, not training and being that strong is really insane.
I don't know. I think this is gonna be a good topic to turn over to the folks, the wonderful folks who are watching this video. So, what are your thoughts on Frieza's natural strength? Do you think it's possible for him to actually gain that much power? Well, I mean, it technically is because it's in the movie. But do you think like it makes sense for him to gain that much power in only 4 months, based on what we just discussed? Let us know in the comment section below. Yeah. Other than that, do you guys have any more final thoughts that you want to end the video with?
No, I think this is really interesting because, I mean, Frieza is a villain who is so weak, and I'm very curious to see how they write him as to getting stronger, so I'm really stoked.
Yeah. What about you, Dragon Ball Nation?
I think we said all we really needed to say in here.
Great. All right. Well, with that, in that case, we're going to be ending the video right here. So make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Burp. that was awesome. And I'm going to turn it over to Dragon Ball Nation for the last couple seconds because he has an awesome channel. And we want everybody watching this video to check out his channel. So Dragon Ball Nation, tell them why they should watch your channel.
Alright, if you guys love Dragon Ball Z and you want to keep up with news and see some gameplay and some tips and all that stuff, theory videos, what ifs, all that stuff, come check me out. Maybe you'll subscribe, but I'd appreciate it if you came to check me out just for a little bit. Yeah,
so we will link his channel in the description below. So let's try to like blast Dragon Ball Nation with subscribe attacks and stuff. Other than that, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that like button. Of course, check out Qaaman as well and vice versa from over there. And yeah, that's just about everything. So Qaaman, why don't you go ahead and end the video for us because we got to have the legendary outro.
I'd just like to say, since Dino and I kind of play this game every now and then, please put hashtag Super Saiyan Burp if you heard my my undivided burp in the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So most importantly, over everything else, please remember what, right, Dino? Please remember
to like, comment, subscribe,
to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say in every single fucking video, to have a great day, guys.
Peace.